Donald Trump survives an assassination attack. What the hell is going on, folks? This is crazy. And there's just so much information. Like, I don't even know where to start. So we're just going to get into it, right? We're just going to see where this all goes. And this is wild. So, you know, I didn't hear about it. I was actually at work when this happened, and I didn't hear about it until I actually went to my mom's house, and she was like, "Oh, did you hear about this?" And then I went straight to the news, like, and I heard about it, but I didn't think it was anything. I don't know. In any case, wow, what a huge story this is. I immediately started watching Candace Owens's live stream on it, and I have to say, Candace I love that she went solo, and she's now a private entity. She's not part of the Daily Wire, but she has gone so into conspiracies and the whole God thing, which is fine. I don't have anything against it. It's just like she just went so far into it. Like, it really felt like she was being restrained at the Daily Wire. So good for her. All the God stuff, you know, it's cool, and I'm not mad at it. It's just I'm not a Catholic like that. I was raised a Catholic, but I just don't practice it like that. I'm not here for all that. You know, I got my beliefs with God and stuff, but I don't. Everything else is up for grabs. But by divine providence, that's the only thing I can think of. This man has survived, and you guys know I have never been a fan of Trump. But when I saw him put his fist up like this, I was like, holy shit. Like, that's sick, dude. That's fucking sick that he stopped in the midst of chaos, in the most vulnerable position in his life, decided to put his fist up, and someone caught that. We're going to watch this video, but this moment here... And the best part is when the fucking crowd starts chanting USA. It's so American. I love it. And what an amazing picture to grab here. Now, I think this guy is from the Washington Post. He was a photographer for the Washington Post. Totally was using autofocus the whole time. And anybody who takes pictures knows what I'm talking about there, but it was using autofocus, just hitting the button. Had some kind of Sony digital alpha model or something, but great shot regardless. Has the upside down flag, which is a sign of protest, right? Wow, just amazing. Like, this is like, I almost feel like I could vote for this guy, but I think I'm just gonna vote for Kanye West because I just can't bring myself to vote for him. But this moment here, if there ever was a moment that pushes somebody to want to vote for this man, it's this moment here, right? It's this moment here. So let's jump into a video here, and this is the video that everybody's watching, right? So let's go back here.
Take a look at what happened.
So the shots are fired. He gets down, and the second round of shots, the second volley is the snipers for the Secret Service eliminating the target. Now, there's a lot of conspiracy theories going around, and I'm here for it. Okay, this is definitely forever government, deep state, shadow government shit. Like, there has to be something. Like, there's no way, when we go into the details in this, there's no way that this dude was coordinating this all by himself, because this shit gets wild. Okay, so let's watch the rest of this video. I love this guy right here. He's like, what's going on? What's happening? And another shot goes, and he's like, what is it? He's not even afraid, dude. He just is fucking like, what's going on?
Hold, when you're ready, on you. Ready, move, up, move.
So now you can hear Secret Service. Secret Service is saying, hey, it's okay. Or they got him. I'm sorry, they're not saying it's okay. They're saying, hey, we got him. Shooters down. They just said confirm shooters down. Now they're lifting him. They're about to lift him up off the ground. And when he comes up, you can see blood on his face. And now he's asking to get his shoes. In the midst of all of this, he's asking to get his shoes. Let me get my shoes.
Watch out.
With blood on his face. And then he puts his hand up like this. And he says, fight, fight, fight. What just happened? Why did the volume go down? And here comes the crowd chanting USA. Trump puts his fist back in the air. A sign of defiance and bravery. Because you don't know how many shooters are out there. I mean, that to me... Listen, could you imagine if that was Joe Biden? Joe Biden would be dead right now. I know I don't want that to happen. I would not, like, I condemn all this stuff. Like, political violence is ridiculous. But this seems, and it feels, and it looks like something a little more predestined, predetermined. There is this, I saw this video, and we'll watch this video now. I think it was this girl right here, Jesus and Trump hat. Let me see.
Take a look at what happened.
This girl right here, watch her. She doesn't really even move. She just sits down and starts filming. This guy is just hanging out. He don't care. Here's the thing. I'm guessing, look at this guy. This guy, I love this guy. Hey, what the fuck's going on? Hey. This is in Pennsylvania. We got rednecks everywhere, friends. You guys think California is all a bunch of like busty blondes and liberals. It's full of people like this guy right here too. All right, there's hillbillies everywhere. I'm not judging, right? I just, this dude, you could just has a vibe. Also, a lot of these Trump supporters in Pennsylvania are definitely fucking gun owners. And so they hear the guns. No one's running. No one's freaking out. I mean, they are. Everyone's like, what the fuck's going on? This woman over here sat down calmly and just fucking started filming. So, to put it simply, these folks are not... They have heard gunfire before, and no one ran. Everyone's just chilling or just trying to figure out what's going on. Unfortunately, someone did die. He was a volunteer, a firefighter. What's his name? Cody something. He died while trying to protect his family. Oh, and there's that stupid AC unit. I tried to put the temperature up, so... Anyways. He jumped on his family to protect him and ended up dying. Now, he ended up getting shot directly in the head. And there is a doctor who describes that moment. Now, we got a lot of videos to go through, including Alex Jones, folks. Including Alex Jones, of course. Hold on. Come on. Let me let's go on this screen while I try to find this stupid video of the actual doctor. Now, there was a doctor in the crowd, so here you go.
This was covered, so was my shirt. I had a USA shirt on, a Trump hat on. I had some brain matter on me, and I was in shock with that. I was in disbelief, just shock. And after that interview to the left, and I got to give this guy tremendous credit, was a Army combat veteran. And, excuse me. After the interview, he came up to me and said, "Brother, there's blood on your face." I said, "Oh, okay." And he gave me his water bottle, and I washed it off, and I looked at my shirt, and I washed off as much as I could. And then I handed the bottle back. He wouldn't take it. And then he stepped into me, put his hand on his shoulder and said, "Are you okay, brother?" And I saw the combat veteran across the brim of his hat, and I said, something like, "You've seen this too." And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "I'm okay. And thank you for what you did." And we hugged. I was covered with blood. My face.
So I'm looking through these and of course this is the response from the left, and you know there's a lot of people celebrate like, hey, why did you miss? There's a lot of liberals. We'll get there, but you know, looking at these comments, it's people are so deluded. They think that because this person voted for Trump, that this doctor's not going to give them good service, or that they're racist Nazis. And this is the problem, you know, and this is what you're seeing from the right, is that they're reasoning that someone, even if this person is acting alone, which probably he is, but he was allowed to do this. You know, it's crazy to think that people are out there afraid of a doctor. It says, can you imagine finding out your doctor was MAGA? So as a black woman, I don't care if you're a black lady, I'm supposed to trust this doctor who not only is a Trump supporter and attends rallies and apparently is very proud of it with my life? Nope. Guess what? Bus drivers. What is that noise? Bus drivers, principals, teachers, all these people are MAGA. And even if you don't see it, or even if they can't, you know, like most of these people probably are afraid to wear MAGA hats and stuff. So you got to understand there's a silent majority of people who are going to vote for Trump that are interacting with you all the time and you don't even know it. I'm sorry about that little noise, guys. I don't know what that is. It's really annoying me, though. I don't know what that sound is. What is that sound? I think it's my mic. I think it's my mic picking up some interference. God, this is going well. Anyways, this was the doctor. So there are a lot of people who are questioning what was going on here. So here's one of the videos that I want to show is... Oh, this is from Benny John. Where is the video? Let me see. Right here. This video right here. It's 4 minutes.
But you were just outside. Tell us what you saw. So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us at the Brinkles Farming Greenhouse here. We had a party. And we all decided, hey, you know, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees up there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally, right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, you know. But we noticed the guy crawling, you know, bear crawling up the roof.
Hold on. This guy has a visor, a Trump 2020 visor on that he put in black marker 2024. So he's just recycling his products, which is fair. In this economy, you can't just be buying new Trump merch every 5 minutes. All right, let's go back to this.
Roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, you know, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof. And he had a gun, right? He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely.
So he's talking about how him and his friends and a crowd of people were like saying, hey, there's someone on the roof with a gun, and pointing it out to cops and Secret Service members.
We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police are like, oh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots rang out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes?
He was up there.
You were up there for a couple of minutes?
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at him for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars.
Could they see him?
So, of course, the first thing that people are going to say is like, if everyone's pointing this out and you can clearly see this guy, and by the way, it was 150 yards away from the stage where this man was. He was in an elevated position on top of a roof with an AR-15, and I believe he only had iron sights. So 150 yards, with a rifle is not a hard shot for most. For me, I'd suck. I'm not a great shot at all, but I'm trying. I'm learning, folks. It's amazing that he had that kind of, because here's the thing too, a cop approached him. A cop approached him, and what is happening? A cop approached him as he was climbing on the roof. Dude pulled a gun out on him, or no, maybe he was already on the roof, but the shooter turned the rifle on the cop, and the cop took off and ran away. Now, I don't know what the details is on that cop. Details are still unfolding. This is the Monday following the shootings, and the shooting happened on Saturday, the 13th. So I'm not sure what's going to become of that cop, and where these getting more information on this cop. But there was a cop that saw him with a gun, and I don't know if that cop called it in or not, but you would think that communication would be on point at a presidential rally, especially someone who's the front runner and Republican nominee who is who has been president before, who has a secret service. Like, there was a major breakdown protocol, and there's a lot of people saying that this is either incompetence or it was inside plan. Either way is unacceptable. You have Elon Musk coming out saying, this is crazy. And now he's fully supporting Trump. There's a lot of people coming out fully supporting Trump after this. And I gotta say, it's very intriguing. It's very enticing to see this, to see Trump in this moment of vulnerability act so strong and be so powerful, standing up with the fizz. Look, I know that sounds like I'm dick riding, but that to me shows some sort of strength, right? Not that I believe that the president of the United States is doing much in the world, because obviously our president, which by the way, our president is now publicly a fucking dementia patient. We know now. We saw the debates. I wanted to jump on and do something for the debates, but it's been crazy around here. I mean, that was the story for a long time. And so it's really interesting that after Joe Biden screws the pooch on the debates, now the left is like, oh my God, has dementia. Like, bitch, we know. We've been telling you. Everybody's been telling you that this motherfucker is not able to function. So we already know that the president does nothing. It's his cabinet members, it's the deep state, the forever government, whatever you want to call it, the shadow government, who's really making the calls here. And it's so obvious now. And so how interesting is it that there is a attempt on the front runner, who is really in the lead right now, Trump? How interesting, a week before the RNC convention in Milwaukee, which is happening right now, it's going on right now. How interesting that that this happens, right? And there's a lot of people who are talking about, Alex Jones obviously was someone who predicted this. Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson got shit for saying this, right? Like, Tucker Carlson, they were saying he's a conspiracy theorist. Obviously, Alex Jones lives in that world. But how interesting, right? Andrew Tate is someone who had something to say on it too. He's expecting to die soon because they trying to throw him in jail and they tried to silence him. And because it goes like this, right? Like, they try to cancel you, they try to deplatform you, they try to do everything they can to silence you. And when that doesn't work, they try to prosecute you and send you to prison. And if that doesn't work, what's next? And the obvious answer is, we saw what happened to JFK. If the government will kill a sitting president like JFK, if they'll kill MLK, if they'll kill RFK, if they'll kill Malcolm X, if they'll kill all these prominent people in front of the world to watch, then why wouldn't they kill Donald Trump? Really think about that. And people who are like, oh, I'm not conspiracy theorists, is like, well, too bad, because there are conspiracies. What was it? 52 heads of the DOJ said that the Hunter laptop was Russian misinformation. Don't you think that that's a conspiracy? I was talking to my friend who's a hardcore lefty, and we were talking about the debates, and you know, he's like one of those gun owning lefties who, you know, who's kind of centrist on a lot of things, but then of course is like, I'm blue no matter who. And you know, he's like, well, I brought up the idea that there is actual conspiracy. He's like, well, it's not the government. You gotta stop saying it's the government. It's people involved in the government. I was like, bitch, that's the government. He was trying to break it down to semantics, like, and he was trying to say there was no more conspiracy theories. He was like, well, you're talking about stuff that happened like 60, 70 years ago. I'm like, yeah, but don't you think they're still doing that? Don't you think they're ramping it up and it's getting easier now that they have access to all of our electronics? Don't you think that this kind of shit still happens? And he's like, no. I was like, okay, so 52 fucking DOJ, heads of DOJ, former heads of DOJ said that Hunter laptop was a Russian misinformation campaign. And that you're going to say that that's not a conspiracy? You're going to say that the deep state didn't collude and with the media, with tech, with big tech? You're telling me that that's not a conspiracy? And let's not even get into the pandemic, because no one wants to accept the pandemic. But still, it's wild to think that people are still living in this world where they don't think that the government would do these clandestine operations against their own citizens, against their own presidents, against their own politicians, news media, lawyers. I mean, they're just another arm of the mob, right? Or they're just another version of the mob. Let's continue to hear this man talk about how he was trying to tell the cops to do something and they just wouldn't.
Probably not, because the roof, the way that the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is
Good
not
question.
Did you see? I mean, obviously, everyone when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching. But you're pretty sure they shot the guy.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
It's incredibly shocking.
The guy was on the roof right there. You can see the white roof right there.
Did you get a look at him? Could you?
No, other than he was in muted colors, tan type clothing. We saw the rifle flinging around as he was trying to crawl. I mean, we saw the rifle, 100%.
Do you know about guns? Do you know what kind of weapon it was?
Oh, I absolutely know about guns, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it was a rifle of some sort. I wouldn't know, I wasn't close enough to read the label on it,
No,
but,
sure, but
it was a rifle of some sort. Yeah.
So you got this person saying, hey, there was a bunch of people. Here's another video of people talking about it. They're saying they had 2 minutes. Time to eliminate the threat. What the fuck? Look.
Yeah, someone's on top of the
They're
roof.
just casually looking.
There he is right there. Right there.
They're just casually looking at this dude setting up. Tons of people seeing him. And they're informing. There's people informing.
Yeah, look. There he is.
Because we have millions and millions of people.
Look, he said officer.
Dangerous people. Criminals. We have criminals. We have
Look, they're yelling at him. He's on the roof. This is 47 seconds since they started filming. That dude should have been dead immediately. That dude should have eaten lead right away. Uh-oh. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me. So here is a picture that was put up. So here was the shooter, right? Look at this. Look at how 150 yards. Look how obvious of a spot this is. And there's only a few buildings. It's not like there's a bunch of buildings. Why wasn't protocol fulfilled? Why weren't Secret Services agents, or at least the Blues, just sitting around guarding these spots? There was a ladder already placed there, or I don't know if it was a part of the building. Whatever it was readily available. It harkens to the time during the 2020 riots in the Summer of Love when there was just a bunch of bricks. You guys remember there was just pallets of bricks laying around during these, marches. Like it was almost like, here you go. There was no construction going on, just some bricks. There was just a ladder hanging out there. No big deal, right? And look, I mean, it's so obvious. It's the most obvious thing. So when people are saying this has to be some sort of inside, I'm with it, man. It can't just be this fucking psycho who, by the way, was in a BlackRock ad last year because they went to his high school. Of course, we all know that the DNC is owned by BlackRock. BlackRock and State Street, all those people. They own everything anyway. So, of course, they own the politicians. That's the first thing you buy. That's your first investment when you become rich, is that you buy legislation that to make you more rich. That's just how it works. That's how our government that's where it shifted to for a long time now. But yeah, you can see right here, this is crazy. How could you just not have that? Like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? It is wild, friends. Wild. And so, what is this? No, that's not it.
Lá em cima, né? Aqui, ó.
See, there's another video of...
Lá em cima, né? Aqui, ó.
Look,
You can see the guy there.
this is him dead. This is after he was shot.
They hit him 'cause the
He's
guy-
done.
It looks bad.
This is them grabbing him off there. They're saying that this is the guy who took him out, but I think it was the actual sniper. Yeah, see, this isn't the agent that killed him. This picture, bro. This picture is going to win him the presidency. I mean, it's over. It's over. You have Grandpa Joe falling asleep, shitting his pants, and then you got Donald Trump. Now, John Bongino, or Dan Bongino, who was a Secret Service agent for a long time, had some interesting things to say about this shooting. And I kind of want to find what he's saying here. I think he actually goes on Fox and Friends and talks about it. So let's...
Gross incompetence, or is it something even more scary that we can't even think about?
No, it's gross incompetence. I mean, how do you think about it, right? The counter sniper team, they train out, the Secret Service counter sniper team, obviously there to mitigate a sniper threat. They train out to 1,000 yards. So we're talking about, say it was 200 yards. It was actually less than that where this shooter was, right? You're talking about a fraction of what they're trained at. They're also trained to spot guys in ghillie suits, cracked open windows.
Right.
He's on a white roof in broad daylight.
He's on a white roof.
No, again, it'd be easy for me to say, oh, well, let's not get into Monday morning quarterbacking. Bro, it's not a freaking football game. It's the President of the United States' life. The Secret Service has one job. Well, outside of counterfeiting and protection, is one job. You keep the body alive no matter what. They came within a millimeter of this guy losing his life. I don't understand some of the commentary that's, they did a great job. Well, the body guys, that response was, brave. Now, they ran up there. They didn't know there could have been 10 more shooters. Right. No doubt. Know those guys. Pretty heroic what happened there. But the security failure in the perimeter is a complete, total debacle. No one should defend this.
So when you have guys, we just played the sound, when you have fans saying, hey, there's a guy with a gun over there, to multiple law enforcement guys, and they still are just looking around like this and no one, how does that happen?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm getting from a number of sources that people are feeding to me their information, obviously, because they want to fix it. They're concerned, and I think you're going to see a lot of whistleblowers. I'm hearing there were very, very few, I don't want to give an exact number, but very few actual, I don't think anyone else has reported this, actual Secret Service poststanders at that site, that they were temp HSI, right. Homeland Security folks, they're great folks. I'm not knocking them, but that's not what they do specifically. We do protection, and we're trained for that. So I'm hearing that. I'm also hearing that the counter sniper team, that they had a problem seeing over the elevation. That's why I didn't engage right away.
Oh, come on.
But that's not.
Now, this is a funny picture that's been going around, is this Secret Service agent here who is a woman, and there's a lot of people blaming the head of the Secret Service right now. I can't remember her name, but she's going to be dragged out in front of Congress to find out how something like this could happen. She championed DEI, which is Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion program, into the Secret Service, which she went and hired a bunch of girls, and now, or women, excuse me, not just girls. And there is a lot of talk about how whoever that was sent was not trained properly, or at least does have the capacity to do the job that's needed. And we'll watch some videos on that after this. So let's continue watching Dan Bongino on Fox here.
The problem, well, it's the problem, but that's not the real. The problem is, where the hell was the aerial visual support? Why was there no helicopter? Why was there no drone? Why was there no FLIR? Why was there no thermal, forward-looking infrared? How the hell is the crowd acting as the freaking counter-surveillance operation?
I know, if that's the best asset you have is random Trump supporters telling police that there's a guy with a gun, what technology are they deploying? They're bragging about they have all this new technology. I didn't see it. Tell me about when they rush him over to the van, I guess, the vehicle. It seemed like some of the Secret Service agents, I just don't know if they had the stature that I would expect to see and the gravitas that I would expect to see protecting the former president.
Well, the rule is maximum to the protectee, minimum to the problem, right? Because you don't know how many problems there are. So if you try to rush to one problem, like the Malcolm X shooting, and there's another problem over there, you're going to wind up getting dead quick. So they did the right thing by rushing to the protectee. On the evac out, yeah, you do see a couple of agents who one couldn't reholster the weapon and things like this. So yeah, there were some.
And the other one was like 5'4".
Yeah, I mean, you're going to find out in the coming weeks that the physical fitness standards for men and women are different. That's weird because the protectee's weight and height doesn't change for a man or a woman.
Does Cheadle get fired anytime soon?
She needs to go immediately.
So that's the name. Cheadle is her name, is the head of the Secret Service. They're calling for her to be fired, which is true. And when they're actually talking about they're actually talking about now the people who were there were unfit for the position. And, I'm not trying to say women shouldn't be in law enforcement or anything like that, but I definitely think that there is, hold on, I need to make sure that this is, so right here you can see, so this woman right here couldn't reholster her pistol. She couldn't even keep up with the crowd. She's just like looking around. You can hear in the video where they're like, what's going on? What's our next move? What's our next move? And it's a female, and she didn't know what was going on. Can't reholster the pistol. There's one girl over here doing fucking superhero moves where she's putting on her sunglasses, making it like she fucking just solved world hunger or just saved a baby from a burning building. Lots of weird stuff going on here with these. Let me see something. With these female guards or so Secret Service. Now, again, I'm not trying to shit on women and law enforcement, but what the fuck? Why are these people involved in doing anything that has to do with protecting somebody if they can't even fucking holster their weapons or can't even, do anything to remotely protect the president? There was one lady who was so short that the president's head was still exposed. Like, what are you doing? Like, you haven't done anything for anybody. Oh my God. Hold on. I just made a huge boo-boo here. I'm trying to find the videos where they're pointing out. Oh, okay. So here we go. So, let me see here. Now this is Califontanila, who is pretty awesome. I love her content. She's a black creator. I think she's Puerto Rican actually. Now I think about it.
Aiming to have 30% recruits by 2030,
so
and
this
even
is what
allowed
people are mad about.
To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030, and even allowed YouTube influencer Michelle Carre to train with agents.
But I'm very conscious as I sit in this chair now of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, and particularly women.
Look at diversity hires.
To expand hiring, they're aiming.
And then so she says, I can't stand DEI. Yes, it is possible that a few women can have the personality and competency to do well as a Secret Service agent, but it should not be the focus. So what? If it's mostly men, having a predominantly male Secret Service agency just makes sense. I'm a woman and I would want a man protecting me, which just makes sense. And look, again, there's not like all women can't do this. She even says that. But to sit there and focus on getting women into these kind of situations, there's just physical realities. There's just biology is involved here. And I know that we want to forget about biology. I know that we want to pretend like dudes are women and stuff. But there's just inscrutable facts that you can't deny when it comes to the physical stature of men and women. I mean, we see this in the sports, right? Like when you see Leah Thompson she's a mediocre swimmer as a man, but as soon as she starts competing against women, she's just murdering the game, right? So it's hard for, I know it's hard for people who've been just programmed like that. And look, I went to college. When I went to college, it was like in full effect, everyone's saying these things. And I remember telling my roommates, it's like, you're bullshitting. Like, women are smaller. Like, you know, because I remember reading this study is like, there's no difference between men and women physically. And it's like, no, that's not true. I mean, just because some sociologist said that in some paper that was written with big words that no one's going to read or anybody can understand, doesn't mean it's true. It just means that they decide that that's what they're going to do. And whatever kind of stupid research they did to prove it, I mean, obviously there is some kind of fallacy involved with that research, because I'm sorry. Women and dudes are just built different. So there's a lot of people talking shit about this. And, you know, I'm not trying to talk too much shit about it, but it is interesting that that this is, you know, that this is what people are focusing on, is making sure there's women and black women in the Secret Service protecting our president. Now, you know, like I don't want to see Biden get shot. I don't want to see anybody get shot, you guys. But it is important to understand that we're not dealing with sane people here, and that we have to fucking figure this shit out. We have to get past the idea of hurting people's feelings, because they're not, let me just tell you, they don't care. The people in charge don't give a shit about your feelings. They're just using this to gain more power and wealth, I'm sure. Here's Andrew Tate talking about what we were talking about earlier.
Sell my soul, and I started saying on every podcast, I was going viral on the fucking internet, telling all of you. I said they try and cancel you. If cancellation fails, they try and put you in jail. And if that fails, they fucking kill you. I was saying this last year. I was saying it after I rejected their fucking money. I rejected their money to sell my soul, and I started saying on every podcast, they're gonna hit me with a bullshit case. They're gonna try and put me in jail. And when I got out of jail, I said on every podcast, I'm uncomfortable because I know I'm on my last fucking life. Look what they've done to Trump. Look at it. They canceled him. They deleted him from everything. Nobody cared. It didn't work. They tried to put him in jail. That's failed. Now they killed him. You get 3 lives against these people. The second you've been canceled, next is a fucking case.
So, again, Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson were both calling this. Now, here's what Alex said in the hours.
I have told you for months on air they're going to try to kill Trump. And when they try to kill Trump, they're going to go after everybody else that is his top supporters. And they also will try to kill Biden and blame it on a Trump supporter. That's coming next. Make no mistake, the same deep state that's behind Biden, that's trying to make him step down, was behind this today. They're now reporting it was an Antifa shooter who's now been killed. How convenient is that?
Now, they're not saying, now it's not Antifa. I don't know who it is. His name is like Thomas Matthew Crooks or something. He looks like some kind of beta soy boy. He was apparently he was kicked out of, he wasn't allowed to join the shooting club in high school because he was a terrible shot, which he doesn't seem like he's that bad of a shot. He missed only because the president moved his head a couple of millimeters, you know, to the right or whatever, and that protected him. Which, before we get more into Alex, we should look at if the bullet would have hit Trump. Because right here, you can see he moved his head slightly and the bullet passed through his ear. But if he would have been, because he was looking at a chart about immigration, right? He moved his head slightly to look at a chart for immigration. If he wouldn't have, he would have blown the back of his skull right off. And instead it went through his ear, and I think it went into that man's head, who was protecting his family, which, you know, thoughts and prayers for homeboy who, I mean, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing to this man. And it's something that, you know, all men with families understand. It's like you put your life down for your children and your family. And this man is the embodiment of that belief. And it's like, yeah, whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. If your head has to explode on your daughter's face, which is what happened, you know. And I believe the daughter did release a statement, and, you know, heart goes out to them. But, you know, even if they have to see the most horrific thing and traumatizing thing in their life, at least they're alive. And that's what that man did. And fuck yeah, man. That's awesome. Good for him. But yeah, look at how his head would have been just blown completely off. Would not have been a good deal, friends. So let's get back to Alex here. And we're going to speed him up too.
The supposed shooter has been killed. Ladies and gentlemen, our republic is in maximum danger right now. I'm about to go live at Infowars.com/show, banned out video, and right here on X. There has been an attempted assassination. The real president of the United States has been shot, and by God's good graces has survived the bullet.
He said the real president has been shot. And of course that's feeding. Sorry guys about my equipment here. It sucks. What is even happening, man? Of course, Alex is talking about how he believes that they stole the election, which there's lots of stuff coming out now where there's people, you know, ballot stuffing and throwing away ballots and all that kind of stuff. So there is some sort of election fraud going on. I don't know if the election was stolen, but it is a little weird. Anyways, let's not get onto that.
It only grazed him over the ear and the side of his head. But ladies and gentlemen, the deep state is desperate. They are in trouble. They're going to try to expand wars. They can do power outages. They can do cyber attacks. We're in such a dangerous position. And I've noticed with all the viral videos out there, it's like, oh, he took a bullet for America. He's going to get reelected now. Ladies and gentlemen, the deep state did this. Make no mistake. And that lets you know they're going for broke. Do you fucking understand what I'm telling you? Take this deadly serious, just like war with Russia. They are going to try to kill Trump again. Now that they didn't kill him once, they are completely desperate. And I'm going to tell you again, Biden won't step down. The deep state will probably kill him or try to kill him in the next few days and blame it on a Trump supporter. And we may see massive terror attacks in America that are blamed on Trump supporters. They've been pre-programming it. They've been preparing. I've been telling you, imminent assassination attempt on Trump every damn day. Because that's what a dying, corrupt establishment does when their back is against the wall. We're living in a historical moment right now. We need Americans, people around the world, to pray for President Trump and pray for America, but also politically get out there on X, everywhere else that has some free speech, and get the point out that this attempted assassination that actually wounded the president, took a bullet for America, lies at the feet of the deep state and the corporate media that said kill him, destroy him, he deserves to die, he's a fascist, he's a Nazi. It lays at their feet. Instead, I see conservatives celebrating, hey, he'll win for sure now. It means the globalists are going to go for a broke. It means they know their time is up. So I'm glad Trump survived. I am so happy. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus. But ladies and gentlemen, do you think this happened by accident? No. And do you think the system's going to back down now? No. Power outages, cyber attacks, expanded war, China invading Taiwan, stock market crash. It's all on the table, and the deep state's behind it. I'll be covering it live, coming up on X, Real Alex Jones, in the next 10 minutes. Join me there.
Forever the salesman. Yeah, so, you know, this has been being said for a long time, and a big talking point right now for conservatives is the idea that this was brought on by the left. Like, they've been saying this kind of stuff for a long time, and so now they're blaming the left for this violence.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is...
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite
Cuomo,
and peaceful.
loser.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
Kathy Griffin, she's the worst.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
So, you know, it's interesting that, you know, how much violence that's being called for by the left. And I feel like if this was Joe Biden, well, maybe not now, but I feel like if this was Joe Biden back maybe even 2 years ago, the right or the left would have just went and tore the streets up. And what's interesting is that you got a bunch of Christians on the right who are just praying for Trump, and no cities are being burned or nothing is being destroyed or demolished. And so that's an interesting point, right? Like that the left calls for all this violence. They allowed so much violence over the summer of 2020. They allowed these people to go and break into windows, loot, burn down government buildings. They were bailing people out. They were trying to get, you know, like the vice president was bailing out these fucking, quote unquote protesters. So it's really interesting to see the juxtaposition between the left and the right in the reaction to things, right? Like when George Floyd died, the fucking left threw a tantrum and burned the fucking country down. When someone tried to kill Trump, they prayed for him. And again, I'm not left or right here, right? Like I have a lot of lefty ideas and beliefs, and I have a lot of conservative ideas and beliefs, but like either Republican or Democrat does not resonate with me. They are fucking corrupt to the core. But there are differences, and there's nothing wrong with pointing out those differences. And so when you see the left throw tantrums, burn down the country at anything that they don't like, and then you see how conservatives react. And I know people are going to say J6 or whatever, but please get out of my face. You can't tell me that the FBI did not incite that shit, that the DOJ wasn't behind that shit. They were letting them in. They were giving tours to the QAnon shaman. Okay, fuck you. You're not telling me that that wasn't something that was incited. You have, what was his name? Ray something. He was out there saying, we need to go into the Capitol. Shut the fuck up. The right does not respond like the left does. And the right could, and they probably have way more firearms to make it worth it, but they don't. I'm not saying that the right is right. I'm just saying there is a difference. There's a difference on how people react to this stuff. We have another witness here who's talking.
Two officers that were looking for something or somebody. I was looking around myself and seeing a guy on top of one of the buildings go in between one building to the next, and went and told the officer that he was up there. And when I went back to my spot, I heard that people could still see the person from where they were standing. So I checked that out, and I went back to tell the officer that if he came over there, he could see them. And when I turned my back is when the shots started, and then it took me a second or two to figure out exactly what it was, and then it was just getting out of there and helping some other person out with her child, and we got out, and that was the end of that, and I went and left, and that was all.
So the viewers have some perspective.
It's wild how many people saw this guy climbing up this ladder and going up. We have cops who turned tail and ran, you know, like that. It's why I don't support all cops, because not all cops are great. Officer confronted Trump shooter before retreating, right? As reported by the Associated Press shortly before the attempted assassination of former President Trump, rally attendees saw a man scaling a nearby building and alerted local law enforcement, according to two officials. A local law officer who climbed the roof encountered Thomas Crooks, who pointed the rifle at him. The officer retreated down the ladder, and Crooks quickly fired at former president. So this cop had a chance, but the dude swung the rifle around. I'm sorry, but if you see somebody climbing up a ladder with a rifle, you come up with a fucking gun and you shoot the fucking dude. I'm sorry, like, fuck him. If you have a rifle and the president is up there speaking, you shoot this motherfucker. This cop right here was either told to stand down or is a coward. And that is, like, I don't want to be a cop. I would never be a cop, because I don't have the balls to just walk up to some car randomly in some neighborhood that might be a little unsavory and ask somebody for their license and registration, knowing that at any minute you're going to be either lied to, murdered, or, you know, something else. This fucking microphone. So what does join mean? What does join? Why are these things that say join? Let's go. Check us in your DMs. Okay. Anyways. Oh, that's what it said. Comment join. So it's crazy. It's crazy to see, right? Here's another video. Obviously, oh, that's him dead. Never mind. Let me see. There was something else that I was going to. Oh, here's another thing. So this Secret Service agent is moving people seconds before. Why is he moving people? And then watch him drop down. He drops down, doesn't. It's like he's expecting something to happen, right? He's telling these people move, move, move. Why is he telling people to move? What did he know that no one else did? And then the shots are fired, and he drops down to the ground instead of running up to the stage where he should have been.
Probably 20 million people.
So what is that? Why is he telling people to move? Why is he? And then of course you have people reacting to it, and we have Kamala Harris, who does not care about. It has zero tact and will laugh in the middle of every sentence she says, even if she's talking about some horrible tragedy. The violence we're seeing right now, the pain we're seeing right now, this is Donald Trump's America. So blaming Donald Trump for someone shooting Donald Trump. Gotcha. Cool. Not Joe Biden's America. Joe Biden would never do that, even though he just said a few days ago that that Donald Trump needs to be stopped and we got to put a bullseye on him, right? That's what he said. He said bullseye. Weird wording. Not saying that Biden fucking tried to have him assassinated, but that is strange wording. And we know that Biden's campaign is in trouble. And they see it now. I mean, Alex is saying it, right? Like, you have the deep state up against the wall. And this is what they do anytime they feel threatened. They murder them, right? They murder whoever they feel threatened by. Whether it's JFK, MLK, RFK, Doesn't matter. They'll just murder him in front of everybody, and then they'll just make it up as they go along, or they have it planned out. Hillary Clinton says Donald Trump is responsible for what happens at his events. He's been not just inciting violence, but applauding it. Hillary Clinton, of course. Of course. Even Trump's own assassination attempt is his fault, not the fault of the people encouraging someone to hurt him. Yeah. That's wild. You heard everybody talking about how they want to kill Trump or punch him.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a...
Hey, fuck off. What just happened? Oh, Streamlabs, you son of a bitch. There he is. Look at him.
Bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
So after about 10 years of seeing people talking violently about him, is it any surprise? I forgot why I saved this.
It is hard to overstate just how lucky the former president was from a neuroanatomy standpoint. People are talking about inches. He was inches away from disaster. Folks, he was millimeters away from disaster and one muscle twitch away from death. There are so many vital structures that are right next to your ear. I mean, for example, the superficial temporal artery and vein are right there, millimeters away. This would not have been a fatal injury.
So yeah, this was what, based on today, I was going to delay my Wisconsin. He ended up going to Wisconsin. What are the things? He was saying some shit after, I want to see. Hold on. He said a lot of stuff after the incident happened, so let's go and read some of that stuff. Real Donald Trump. So let's, he's saying unite. Trump 2024. Where is his stuff? Trump. I don't think he's on Twitter. I don't think he does anything on here anymore, does he? Yeah, he definitely does. But yeah, he hasn't really been on here for a while. So Truth Social, Trump, Truths. And Trump's Truth Social soars. It soars. Let's see if they'll let us read what he says. Sweet, they are. So this was a day ago. So Melania Trump released a statement based on yesterday's terrible event. Okay, I'm going to delay that, but now I think he decided not to. Let's see if this works. Uh-oh. As we move forward in uniting our nation after horrific events on Saturday, this dismissal of lawless indictment in Florida should be just... So there was something dismissed. He had a ruling dismissed in Florida after a judge said it was like unconstitutional or something. But look at this. Why is this freezing up? It should just be the first step, followed quickly by a dismissal of all the witch hunts. The January 6th hoax in Washington, D.C., Manhattan DA's zombie case, the New York AG scam, fake claims about a woman I never met, blah, 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 blah. In the light of what's going on today, I believe it is imperative that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. receive Secret Service protection immediately. Given the history of the Kennedy family, it's obviously the right thing to do. So there was reports that said that Secret Service was reduced for Trump, and obviously RFK Jr. has zero Secret Service. Because they see him as a threat, right? They see him as a threat. And if someone was to take care of him, then that would be their thing. What he said afterwards, he said, I want to thank the United States Secret Service and law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I wanted to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also the family of another person that is badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter. Okay, and he is dead. So that was, that was something he said a day after, or yeah, so I think that was what he said right afterwards. He was shot in the ear. A lot of people were saying that there were some news organizations that were saying that he got hit by a teleprompter from the glass, but no, it was a bullet. It was a bullet that went right through his ear. There was a lot of headlines that was weird. It was like Secret Service, and it was from these, like, I think like ABC or something. They posted something saying like, Trump removed from stage after a loud noise or after he fell, right? Like, Secret Service takes Trump off stage after he fell. It's like, bitch, he was just almost assassinated. So for hours after the event happened, they're putting these headlines out there minimalizing his assassination attempt, which, why? This is not going to stay contained, right? Like, what are you trying to contain this situation? No. People are going to talk. The internet exists. People are going to put shit on Facebook, on Twitter, on fucking, everywhere, and they're going to talk about this, and you're going to have to cover it properly. So it's very interesting, right? Very, very interesting. Now, there's this big movement of people on the left who are just talking so much shit, and it's a shame. Like this kid right here.
Come on, man! Fuck! We don't miss those! One shot at greatness! To be mentioned in the history books! And you missed the shot? Fuck! What fucking shit? How do you miss that? We don't miss them!
So,
a couple of minutes ago, and it grazed him by the ear. There was some bleeding. And whoever did that, like, if you're gonna, like, do this, can you, like, pick somebody who knows how to shoot a gun? Like, can you imagine? Like, even the person who shot JFK was, like, a fucking sniper. And, like, imagine going to jail for popping someone's ear. Like, if you're gonna do it, like, do it.
So, yeah, you got a bunch of lefties who are just like, oh, yeah, this should happen. This should happen. Here's someone else.
People often flee the scene of a shooting. I mean, it's a little weird, that this is America and shooters don't miss unless they're hired to. People often flee the scene of a shooting, but these people did not. Instead, they crouched down not enough to protect themselves, just enough so they could keep recording. And when they saw that the Cheeto Puff was okay, they erupted into applause, and the Secret Service still did not rush him off a stage because there was no active threat perceived, even though it had not been declared that the shooter had been apprehended. And I'm just wondering something that I can't say out loud.
So, a big conspiracy on the left, BlueAnon. Cute, right? BlueAnon is talking about how Trump pre-planned this. This was a false flag operation, and this is why I don't think that is. Because I'm all about, looking into these conspiracies, because it's super fascinating, and a lot of them end up being true. Isn't that interesting? They're trying to say that Trump coordinated this so he could win the presidency. And here's why that's not true. Because by some act of God, by providence alone, he moved his fucking head just enough for the bullet to graze his ear instead of blowing out the back of his skull. I don't think anybody is gonna hire somebody to almost blow off your skull for theater, for just for theater purposes. It's a stupid fucking conspiracy. It's about as smart as the flat earth. Okay. Nobody is that stupid. Nobody is that crafty where they're like, yeah, hit my ear, but don't hit my head. Like, no one's going to put themselves in that position. Especially Trump, who is like, loves himself. He's a conceited cunt. Like, why wouldn't he? Why would he even put himself in that position? So that's interesting, right? So here is...
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
The shooter.
Financial
right
well-being to me is... Financial well-being to me is...
So this...
I teach AP and...
This is the BlackRock commercial. And they filmed it at his high school where the shooter went. This is the shooter who looks like he's missing a chromosome. And so, of course, people are saying that he is, of course, he's an agent of the deep state. He's only 20. He's very young. Doesn't mean he's not capable. He's very capable. Obviously, he's very capable of taking a shot at the former president. But people are saying that he's part of the BlackRock establishment, the deep state establishment, because everybody knows BlackRock owns everything, even our DOJ and politicians. And, Pfizer, they own everything, right? They own every fucking thing.
Brought to you by Pfizer. Fuck you. Pay me.
Thank you, Pfizer. So this is interesting, right? We have this fucking little freakazoid in this BlackRock thing. Now, is this what I think? I don't know. It could just be a thing, right? It could just be a coincidence. So many coincidences, friends. So many coincidences. So this is rabbit hole gets deeper. The shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, was featured in BlackRock ad. BlackRock ad was filmed at Bethel Park High School in Crooks, where Crooks attended. Crooks can be seen at the 19-second mark. Show more, bitch. Wait a second, what just happened? Why is it doing that? I wonder. Oh well. Let's just look at Matt Kim. He has a really interesting take on all this.
Did God save Trump? Last night, like most of you, I went through a roller coaster of thoughts and emotions. First, shock, anger, horror, then the forever iconic photo. President Trump, blood streaking down his face, fist raised high in vigor, with the American flag flying inverted in the background, the sign of political protest. And then my analytical, logical side of my brain kicked into overdrive. Where was the Secret Service on this? Inside job? Was the miss intentional? Who's to gain? Who's to lose? Deep state cover-up? I played back every possible scenario in my head, questioning the left, questioning the right, even questioning Trump. None of it made any sense. There's actually no rational explanation for the chain of events. Randomness, luck, coincidence? Except there is no coincidence. I don't believe in it. Laying behind the podium as the Secret Service covers President Trump, you can hear him say, shoes. I need my shoes. Let me get my shoes. In a time of shock, confusion, blood dripping down his face, unsure if he'd have been hit, unsure if he'd live or die, in that moment of ultimate vulnerability, President Trump looked for his shoes. Ephesians 6:15, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes
Here
from
comes
the
the Bible stuff.
Feet fitted, ready for spiritual warfare. This morning, after the dust has settled, President Trump put out this message. Quote, it was God alone who prevented the unthinkable from happening. We will fear not, but instead remain resilient in our faith and defiant in the face of wickedness. He could have said, I'm the greatest bullet dodger ever. Very Trumpian thing to say. He could have said, they took their shot and missed. I'm the greatest. Another Trumpian thing to say. But he didn't. In the ultimate test of faith and staring down the ultimate sacrifice right down the barrel, he turned to God. Something happened yesterday while he was laying on the floor. The man changed. He's not perfect. He has his vices, and at times he's operated in the gray. But he's a strong, resilient, brave, and most importantly, chosen leader. God doesn't pick the people we think should be in charge. He doesn't choose the people we think to serve. He chooses, and we simply comply in faith. Last night, things could have gone seriously wrong. Not only with President Trump's health, but with the temperature of the country.
So, that's a really strong statement. Is Donald Trump chosen by God himself to lead this country into righteousness and victory? That's hard for me to wrap my head around. Okay, I'm not that. But when you see it, when you realize how close this man was to death, the only thing you can think, I mean, you can call it luck, you can call it divine intervention, you can call it providence, you can call it fucking, skippity doodah. The thing is that something major was about to happen, and from the twist of his head, he was able to evade it. And I don't know if that's luck, man. I don't know how you call that luck. That seems to me like some kind of intervention. Because Donald Trump should probably just be dead. 150 yards is not that hard of a shot to make. And he would have made that headshot. It's wild to me to think. I don't know, man. There's something divine about this. And it makes me want to vote for him, but I just can't. I just can't. I'm going to vote for Kanye West. Fuck everybody. Let's listen to Matt Kim.
Right rioted and burned cities, it would be disappointing, but no one would be shocked. If the right took to the streets and welcomed chaos, it would have been somewhat understood. But it didn't happen. Instead, an entire world of Christians prayed. Probably for the first time in a ridiculously long time, believers all prayed the same prayer. The world seems chaotic, the world seems lost, the world seems to have lost direction, smothered with lies and deception. But this is not a revolution we're going through now. It's a revival.
So, there you go. That's what's going on right now. I'm sure there's lots of stuff that's happening, breaking news that's happening, but it's Monday after the shooting, and there's just so much information that's going to be rolling down the path here. Let's see. According to Trump campaign source, VP pick is officially made. Yeah, it looks like JD Vance is going to be who's an Ohio senator. Ohio. Forbes yanks article suggesting Trump assassination attempt will sway black vote. Biden backer Jack Black's Nation debate. Don't miss Trump next time. Yeah, see, even Jack Black's saying shit. Secret Service says it'll be ready to protect Donald Trump at the Republican National Convention. Explosives were found in his car. So that's interesting. What was his next plan? What was he planning on doing after he shot the president? He seems like he was gonna head back to his car and blow some shit up. I don't know. Seems kind of sus. Joe needs to upstage him. He's got to come out as bisexual. Oh my God. Screenshot all pro-assassination messages you see on social media. They'll be needed by federal authorities when the June 13 investigations begin. Ooh, because they're saying that a lot of people are saying like, oh man, you should have got him, or calling him a false flag on the left. Calling this incident a false flag should get you a $1 billion lawsuit like Alex Jones, but that's not going to happen. Donald Trump criminal classified documents case dismissed. So that was the case that was dismissed, was the classified documents case. So that's good because Joe Biden had the same thing going on. I was arguing with my lefty friend about that. Oh, no, he gave them back. I'm like, dude, he's had them for like 10 years since he was vice president, and it was just haphazardly just sitting around. Democrat Pennsylvania councilwoman fired after a law exposed her post about Trump's assassination. A for effort. What a dick. So she was fired. Fuck him. Trump. Okay, we know that. Elon Musk said the director of the Secret Service should resign immediately. I agree. Would-be Trump assassin Thomas Crooks appeared. Yeah, we know that he was in the BlackRock commercial. Was the feds question Trump shooter Thomas Matthew Crooks' parents and neighbors as they continue to come up with a positive motive. So the weird thing about the dude was, this is funny, we'll just keep it on this. The weird thing about this shooter is that he donated to the Biden campaign, I think back in 2021 or 2020 or something, and then registered as a Republican in 2022. Those dates might be fucked up, but so people are running with this idea that he was some kind of Republican he was a Trump supporter who went crazy and tried to shoot Trump. That's doesn't seem right, but we don't know. So that might be what's going on. Anyways, I think we're going to wrap it there. I was just trying to get some more headlines in here before we go. But yeah, this is a special episode. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. I know I've been gone for a little bit, so I appreciate y'all still watching some of the content and hanging out. But yeah, I've been moving. Everything's insane right now. Insane. Newborn. Fucking sane, folks. So we'll see you next time. Love you guys. Be good to your fellow human beings, everybody. HJ's for everybody. Everyone say a prayer for someone you love. Say a prayer for Donald Trump. Say a prayer for Joe Biden. Even if you don't believe in God, just put out good vibrations in the world. All right, guys. We'll see you.